The most common form of reasoning that you're going to encounter on the LSAT is what you can think of as the observation explanation structure. And this refers to when the stimulus presents you with an observation about the world and follows it up with an attempt to explain that observation, to provide an account of that observation. It's someone trying to say, here's why I think we're seeing that observation. Take this as an example. The stimulus starts by saying that our sales this year are significantly down compared to our sales for the same time last year. I like to think of that as an observation about the world. It's a statistic that our author is bringing up. And when you look at the conclusion, thus our increase in prices must be driving customers away, that's the author's attempt to explain why our sales this year are significantly down. That's the kind of reasoning that our author is engaged in right now, trying to explain the cause of something that is happening, our sales being down. And when you see this kind of reasoning, there are two issues that you should have in mind when it comes to evaluating the strength of the argument. And those are whether there are any alternate explanations for the observation, as well as whether the explanation that the author proposes is actually plausible. Does it actually make sense? So when it comes to alternate explanations, in this case, there have to be a lot of other potential reasons why the sales could be down. Maybe they're spending less on advertising, and it's not necessarily the increased prices, but the advertising that's not bringing in as many sales. Maybe this company sells masks for a pandemic and the pandemic is over, so the demand is down. These kinds of alternate explanations are what you would want to think about when you're presented with an argument like this. And if you're asked to strengthen the argument, you'd be looking to eliminate any of these alternate explanations. If you're asked to weaken the argument, then you'll want to bring up one of these alternate explanations and show that this could be the case. When it comes to the plausibility of an explanation, you want to think about whether the increase in prices really does make sense as a reason for sales to be going down. And on its face, that does seem plausible to me because there's a relationship between price and demand. But what if in this particular industry, the customers aren't price sensitive? Maybe the customers don't really care about price in this industry, in which case the increase in prices wouldn't make as much sense as an explanation for the sales being down. So if you want to strengthen this argument, you'd want to make this explanation even more plausible. You'd want an answer that says that in this industry, customers are very sensitive to increases in price. But if you're trying to weaken the argument, then you'd want something that says the opposite. So these are the basic issues that you want to be thinking about when you're trying to criticize an argument that uses this observation explanation kind of reasoning.